Hello, chat. How are you doing? Fear not, our dear Lionhart is coming. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the launch of our new talk show. Now, keep in mind, this is the first time I have ever hosted a talk show on my own, meaning on my OBS. And as you know, I am the potato, not my PC. So right now we have Lionheart almost set up. Yeah, that should be sorted out pretty soon. We just need him to come back and sit down. He is making pizza, as you all know, because he lost a bet. And that's about it. He lost a bet, so that's going to be fun. Frixie, my dear boy, how are you doing, child? It's been so long. How is father treating you? Oh, gosh. Yeah, we're looking at Lionheart's window right now. This is top tier content, guys. Top
Not
tier.
actually a bathroom confirmed. The pizza's got a few more minutes, so I'm just going to come and sit back down. And we can go from there. Just give me 2 seconds.
In the parking lot. Yeah, of course. Of course, that's where he left you. Thanks for the follow, Soul. This is going to 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I'm going to get rid of my alerts as I think that's unprofessional, and I need to be a professional now. There you go. All better. And we're back. Sit down for Tia, sit down for Tia. So there are going to be 3 major announcements in today's talk show. The first being the title of the talk show, which I personally love. And like I said, I have spoiled that title at least 10 times now. But I played it away as none of you would even have known that was the title. I think it's a cool title, I'm not going to lie. I think it's quite cool. We already have an intro designed for that. We worked with some people like Miss Lady J to make the title for us. We worked with Lionheart's people so we can have the intro for that. Then we will be announcing the big guest we're going to be having on most likely this Saturday. It's not going to be a Gwent guest, keep in mind. This talk show is going to be much broader than just Gwent, although Gwent will be discussed at least 50% of the time. Like today, we need to sort out these bugs that are happening, which are hilarious. Yeah, I've seen some very interesting bugs. Like Mata not drawing your card, but your opponent's. Very interesting stuff, CDPR. Very interesting. Oh, thank you, Hura. And the third one is a surprise. It's going to be a surprise indeed. I don't think you'll be disappointed. It might not be the surprise you're thinking it's going to be. Marketing done right? I don't know. But I'm very excited to announce it. So is Lionheart. Again, might not be what you think I'm talking about, but yeah, it will clear some things up in many
people
ways.
have been wondering, right? So we may as well, finally come clean about it in a second. I won't be long.
Oh my gosh. Gula has 0 clues about anything. Bribey Play, you shut up. Mods have some privileges in this channel, let me just put it like that.
As it should be. As it should be.
Yeah.
Here we go.
How's your pizza coming along, Frank? Oh, you're going to... Oh, you're in your suit now. Good, this is the only
Can you see? How can you see
acceptable.
that? No one else... Oh, you can see the full screen. Yeah, no one else can see me. No one else can see. But chat, we're going to... In fact, you know what? I'm going to do a full walking reveal. Because I can do that now.
Oh, look at that, guys. Oh my gosh, look at that. That
Your
is
boy's back.
a suited boy. That is a suited boy indeed. Okay, now I just need to quickly make it so that we can see all of the suited boy.
Yeah, if you just move me. Welcome back, Retro Lionheart.
Like
How the devil are you all?
No, that is what they came here for. This is
True story.
100% why everyone is here.
It's happening. It's happening. I'm returning. The suited me is back. Good times. We're literally just waiting now for the pizza to be ready. I'm not overly excited about this section. You came here for top. no. 2 other leaks. You're gonna have to be patient. You're gonna have to be patient. These things will happen. You're about to get. You haven't had any of the leaks yet, right?
No, but
Unless he's giving one away.
I will explain it later how someone might have just realized what the one was. Can't type it right now. Don't worry.
Right.
We'll just have to start at some point. Should we perhaps start with the first, which is in fact the announcement of the title? That's
Yes,
the major leak that's coming.
Let's go for the title announcement first.
And
let's do that.
You can sit back a tiny bit because your head is. There we go. We'll sort this out. That looks 100%. Oh yes.
Wonderful.
Someone screenshot that. Okay, so now would we just begin with the intro and let them see for themselves? Or do you want to announce it?
No, I think the intro will do it for us to start with, and then we can obviously discuss it.
All right then. Here we go. The name of our talk show, friends. You heard it here first, guys. The name of our talk show is Out of Focus, otherwise known as OOF. Yes, I have mentioned this many times. None of you caught on when I accidentally said Out of Focus, but we played that away very quickly. So yes, OOF. We're gonna show that again real quick. I'm very excited for this. And Lionhart is back as always, and we can't hear him.
I had to run and do that while there was a big alarm on. My apologies, because otherwise this horrendous excuse for pizza would be even worse burned.
That's a creepy intro for a wholesome podcast. What can I say? It's inspired by Harry Potter. No, it was inspired by our previous podcast, The Merchants of Novigrad, which is still a podcast, by the way. We're just not part of that podcast anymore.
Yes.
But we always had camps that were so out of focus.
It was really bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we thought, let's call it Out of Focus, and we can pretend like it's all a joke, and we're not dying inside. But
yeah. The tech issues we were having were quite frustrating before, so now they can just be the theme, although we seem to have addressed them, which is quite nice.
Yeah, we are now on Skype, like the olden days, and it's working quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And how is your pizza coming along, Lion? I could show them the photos. Now, Lion has lost a bet. We have a forfeit every month to see who gets the furthest in Gwent.
We do.
He lost, and the previous month I lost, to be honest, and I had to pretend like I love soup, which I don't. I hate soup very much. And this time, Lion has to make pizza with banana on it.
Yeah.
We have some photos here that got leaked. This is him prepping his pizza.
Yeah, that's the uncooked version of this pizza, this monstrosity that I'm about to eat. I've got the cooked version here now. I'm not sure. I mean, the half of the pizza that doesn't have the banana on looks delicious. How much of this can you see? Okay, so that's the pizza right now. Yeah, so yeah.
Now,
It's going to be
I found it
interesting.
important to at least show how it's supposed to look, so we can somehow blame Lionheart for it not tasting well. This is what I ordered. Here in South Africa, this is pretty much a pizza. You just order
Okay, I see one piece of banana on that pizza. I'm sorry, I feel like I've been lied to. There is a single bit of banana there.
No.
Jack, help me out.
You can see banana on all the slices. It's just covered very well with avo and bacon and cheese. Like I said, it's not a banana pizza. I just refer to it as such because you don't know about banana pizzas here. It's actually just a bacon and avo pizza with banana. I have one slice left because I ate it all. It's a very tiny slice indeed. But
right.
Here you go.
I mean, I'm just gonna cut myself a slice of this here because this is the forfeit, guys. Obviously, I have to do this, and I think going forward, the forfeit for either of us will sort of take place on a show because I think that's something we're gonna do.
Oh yes, definitely.
I'm terrified about this, by the way. A, because I don't normally eat on stream, but also because banana pizza.
Oh gosh, okay. I want to see this.
Okay, the way the cheese is nice still.
I'm not asking you to eat the cheese, and you know this.
Okay, I'm so not happy about this right now. Okay,
Come.
wish me luck, chat. Wish me luck.
Sit back, we can't see.
I know. I'm just trying to get it not to fall.
He knows, that's so much worse.
Okay.
Now, don't think about the banana. Just think about the pizza and the savory cheese surrounding the banana. Enjoy the food you're eating.
It doesn't make sense to my face is confused.
It's a South African cuisine, though.
I don't understand. No, I ate a piece with 3 pieces of banana. I
need to make up for this.
I don't understand. I have no bacon, so maybe bacon will make it better.
Banana. Yummy.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about this. I like warm banana. Banana fritters are fantastic here. I mean, okay, let's try. I'm going to try some with bacon. So weird.
You will eat that entire slice.
Oh, no. Why?
I will drop you on an island and only feed you banana pizza for a year, and you like it then.
It's not horrible, but it also doesn't make sense.
You need avo, son. You see that green?
I love avocado. I'm a big avocado fan. I just wouldn't put it on my pizza. I'm so confused by this. It's not horrendous. It's edible. It's not as bad as I expected it to be. I don't need the sweet. I don't need the sweetness of it, and the texture is not good. I don't enjoy the texture at all.
You don't like banana. You want your pizza to be filled with meat and it to be crunchy.
Right.
That's your taste.
I've just had a bite of this pizza without any banana, and it's top tier.
Top tier.
I can't waste the rest of this pizza, man.
Oh,
but
no,
obviously I'm not going to spend the whole stream eating. That's the forfeit. I will finish this slice.
Finish at least one slice and I'll be happy. He's loving it. It's very interesting because it's such a cultural difference. Like Lionhart said, he can't even order banana pizza. Here it's just a pizza. You call it a Casanova pizza. Well, it's avo with banana, avo with bacon, and banana is just an extra topping you add along. Yummy. It's just a thing.
Okay.
It was okay.
So,
it was doable.
My review of this is, if you want warm banana, deep fry it and cover it in syrup. It's not as horrible as it sounds like it should be, but it's not for me.
I respectfully decline that opinion.
I get.
I will
I just
translate
don't get
that
the textures. I
later,
don't get
guys.
The taste is actually not unpleasant. It's a bit sweeter than I like. The taste is actually okay. It's just the texture for me.
The texture. Yeah, well, that's an interesting argument. So it's not the tad bit of sweetness.
The taste actually isn't a problem. It's the texture. It's the mushiness.
Okay, I see. It's the same way you say you'll eat banana on peanut butter bread, but toast. It has to be crunchy.
Yes, I would eat it with toast, but yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand.
But
interesting.
Don't waste a banana, chat. If you want a pizza and a banana, have yourself a banana, then eat your pizza. That's the first thing you've learned here today.
You know what? I'm satisfied with the fact that you ate banana on your pizza. It's alright. It's good enough.
Okay. Gather that might be a good idea, actually. If I caramelize the bananas first, maybe with some red onion as well, that could actually be not terrible.
You do you. The banana is merely a topping. Usually we have some garlic as well, but...
There's garlic in meat base. I put garlic oil underneath the cheese. So, yeah, there is a bit of garlic in there. That helps, actually. That helps. I need to get rid of that now because it's making me sad. Forfeit complete.
I'm happy.
Forfeit complete. This is what... The real problem is, because I've just had to do that, I'm actually going to try this season now. I mean, when they fix Gwent.
You just lost another season, you do realise that.
Oh, I know. I'm not going to meme as hard this season. I'm actually going to try.
Are you trying
so we will see.
To forget about the forfeit that came with last season's demise?
So, okay. Feel free to tell them what I have to do now.
He has to eat some sushi. Though I do feel for him, as England can't make nearly as good sushi as in South Africa, so... This will be
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah, some raw
I
fish.
don't know where I'm going to
Yummy.
get. I suppose I'm going to have to make the sushi, right? Because I'm not going to buy supermarket sushi. Um,
I don't know
yeah,
if you
sushi's
should
not my
make your
thing.
own
I've tried
sushi.
sushi plenty of times, but I'm not a fan of raw fish.
Mm.
It's just not really a thing in England. Well, it is. That's an obscure thing to say, but it's just not as good as perhaps it would be elsewhere. But hey, I lost. I am a man of my word. You all know this. You have seen me fulfill forfeits in many ways. So
Wish I had a photo of that.
no,
You
we
should
are
have
not
warned
sharing
me.
those photos right now. Okay, we're being professional. Old school
Oh
Lionheart is
yes,
back. Come on,
I
he's a
like that.
respected gentleman.
Very much so. Very much. Oh, Gulo says sushi in the year of COVID. Yes, luckily he had COVID already. No problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I've already caught that virus. It's fine, and
Well,
recovering nicely,
yeah,
which is good. Finally.
it's all well. I have the green screen here. If we want to start,
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah,
So
TRB professional.
I like it. I like it.
There we go. So, we can probably switch to Gwent now, which leads
Okay.
to our later announcements. So, where do we even start? Where do we even start? I first want to mention the fact that they publicly admitted people were getting irritated by the leaders making grunts and sounds.
I
And
knew you were going to bring
Lionheart
this up.
pretended like I was just hearing voices.
No, look, I've
No,
never heard this.
no,
I don't know about you
it's a
guys.
thing.
Tia kept saying to me, the leaders keep grunting. I've never heard the leaders grunt. It was never happening in my games. I was sure she was going crazy, but no, apparently
No,
not.
I think Tia knows a thing or two about pizza, about leaders. Like Meave, she just kept saying, yeah, yeah. It's like, my gosh, Meave, shut up. But they fixed that now. It's not a problem anymore.
No, well, we assume. I don't know if anyone's tested that today, on the
True.
basis that quite a few other problems have probably been front and
Yes.
center today.
Yes, meh. That's the thing, waiting cocky. She said, meh, meh. She kept saying that.
Right.
Very frustrating.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
what's...
Voldemar has a good point. I
Voldy?
usually got music on.
Oh, yes, that is true. Me too, though.
Yeah,
So...
true, true.
No, where do we start? What's the biggest thing for you, Lionheart, that stood out in there at the devs announcement yesterday?
It's nice that the Louisa change kind of makes sense. It's been something that people have been asking for a while, which is the one you've got on screen right now. Although I honestly don't think it changes the includability of the card for me, and I honestly don't see it as the hugest nerf in the world. I don't think it's hard to argue that it's a buff, but I don't see it as a huge nerf because it allows you a bit more control with her in things like congregate lists, which I personally think are going to be really good this season.
Oh yes.
It gives you a lot more control over when you use her. It just means you have to think a little bit more. And honestly, I'm fine with Syndicate being tier 1. Always have been. But I don't want it to be tier 1 because it's just overpowered. I want it to be tier 1 because the mechanics are more complicated. And things like Louisa Savola just basically weren't. It was just, me play card. I had a wonderful experience today while playing by where I got double bribery by my opponent. My opponent rolled Louisa into Savola, and it didn't work because of the change. So, bribery nerfed. You heard it here first, chat. It was hilarious.
Oh yes, that's so true.
Superb.
That's
Made
amazing.
me very happy.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
They mentioned more ways this can go wrong is also if we just Philippa someone else's Louisa and have two Louisas on board, right? So,
That's going to be interesting.
yeah, I think it's an excellent nerf in my opinion. I like it very much. As everyone knows, Louisa is being played in Syndicate and in Savola. So if you have Skellige, you will keep your 6-point poison. If you have Syndicate, you keep Philippa. You can keep a lock for that matter. So now Kalkstein's a must.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
That is the case. Yeah, you're going to have to include different cards, and you're forced to either go really greedy, in which case you're usually going to be punished, or you have to consider your deck building more, which in Syndicate, particularly last season, just wasn't a thing. You didn't have to think. You could just throw in all of the best cards, and you'd have the best poison deck, the best point slam deck, the best engine deck, the best control deck, and potentially the best consume deck in the same deck, which is just scary. I know some people think that the cash nerf has gone too far. I'm not in that camp. I'm quite happy with where cash is, and I think it will still be very good. I never thought cash was intended to be tier one. I think it was supposed to be an intro for new players to learn how Syndicate works with less of an effect on how coins worked. I always saw it as an intro to Syndicate, which is something that was needed for newer players. So I think in that sense it will still work, and I think it will still be pretty powerful, personally.
Definitely, definitely. I've got, I don't know if you can see Lionhart, but we've
I
got,
can. I
yeah,
can.
all right, mutated hands on screen too. So yeah, they did decide Cash needs an absolute nerf. So now all these poison units won't necessarily be a possibility. I think we're going to see less poison now as mutated hounds. It's a little nerf, but I mean that's already 2 provision cost points you're now missing in your deck, and now you can't
Yeah.
afford bigger cards. We'll see. We'll see what the meta entails.
Yeah. I mean, I have a problem with the mutated hounds change. Not that they're changing it, they definitely needed to change it, but I feel like they changed the wrong poison. This card is the
Oh.
worst of the Syndicate poisons.
Mm-hmm.
If it was in Nilfgaard, it would be the best of the Nilfgaard poisons, but moving it to 5 provisions is okay, but it's already the card people had started cutting. So for me, it's not the card I'm fine with it changing up to 5. I think it should have stayed at 3 power personally. I don't think it needed the point buff at all. But I also think that it's not far enough. I would like to see either a change to the crime poison going forward, or Fistech Trafficker perhaps being made that it's only available to poison your own units. I just don't understand how Syndicate can be better than every other deck. Like I'm one of the people that sits in the camp where I like poison being a thing. I don't even mind each faction having access to a single set of 4 provision poisons. My problem is Syndicate had 3 of those, which is just too much for too little value. So I honestly think we're going to see a change in a month's time to either Trafficker or Fistech itself as well, personally. But that's just me.
No, I agree 100%. I almost think they did that on purpose. Maybe started slow. That they usually tend to go for slow nerfs, which progresses over time. But yes, obviously, Fistech Trafficker is much better than Mutated Hounds because you get to poison your Flying Redanian and keep the coins carryover.
Exactly.
So you keep that, obviously. You keep that and you throw out Mutated Hounds. We'll see. We'll see. It will be very interesting to see how the meta progresses. Like you say, I think Congregate might make a comeback.
All the other leaders are strong anyway, so if we see lots of blood money, that doesn't surprise me. If you see lots of wildcard again, even, doesn't surprise me. It depends on how wide or tall the meta goes. I think we all know we're expecting a lot of Igni this season now.
Oh, let's go to Igni, shall we? What is your opinion on Igni? You don't think it's a nerf, do you?
This is a huge buff to Igni because now it doesn't brick itself. I think we're going to see a lot of Igni this season. It was getting, and maybe it's just me, I felt like the intention for Initiative was perhaps to make these things less played and sort of balance them a little that way. I faced more Igni last season than I did before the nerf. Now that this has happened and it's been buffed again, I actually think it's better than it was before the original nerf. So I know it's 35 on a row, but honestly, in the greedy wide engine meta we've got, if you're playing it to line things up, you're going to guarantee that anyway. So I think It just makes Igni considerably more playable. And I expect to see a lot of it. Again, I might be wrong, but I would be stunned if we don't see quite a lot of Igni this season.
No, a lot of people agree with you there. They called it a burst, didn't they? An Igni or a buff. They couldn't decide. Oh no, it was a nerf or a...
No, yeah.
I can't remember the term everyone was using on the Devs podcast, but...
Yeah, I think it was burf, or a nerf or a buff.
Yes,
yes.
Yeah. The thing is, like you said, if you end up with Igni on a short round 3, you are going to use it anyway. You'd be using it in the end of a long round 2 or a long round 3 where there definitely would be 35 points in a row. It doesn't change much. It doesn't change much.
No.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see how this goes. I think that Squirtle, what was it? What's the Squirtle leader ability called again? When you
Echo.
No, 3 charges and then you...
Oh, Precision Strike.
Yes.
Or the elf one.
I think that will make a comeback. I think, personally, I have a feeling that's going to... Because you will want a lot of control now just to ensure you can play Igni when needed. I personally think that's going to make a comeback. We'll see. We will see.
It should be interesting. Yeah, I can see Scoia'tael being quite good again. I mean, I say that as if Scoia'tael's ever not been good, but I think Scoia has a better chance at top tier this season. But we'll see.
We will. We will. Now, I haven't tested this out yet, but I love this. Seeing that Beastie mom, my mom, she actually still uses training quite a lot, and she always plays against Rafa
Oh,
Schoon.
it's amazing.
And
We
now
tried
they're
it out.
changing it. And there you
Yes.
go. There you go. Now we get to play against Lockdown and
You
actually
could, yeah.
practice, not just
And
test out a card.
it cycles through other leaders as well, is my understanding. The AI is so much smarter than it was. I only played once, um, but I actually had to think. I mean, the old version was so meme, it was hilarious. Like, the old Araka Swarm version was just terrible. But see, there you go. It just beat its first person. Um, Genuinely, the card ordering makes sense. It felt like I was probably playing
Wow. I love this.
against. I had to think. Oh, as if it's Santa Crack. I love that. Um, yeah, the AI bleed. The AI are playing cards that make sense. They're holding cards for certain situations. They're locking when they should. I haven't played against this one, for instance, but it's interesting that we've got one, I believe, for each faction. But I could be wrong.
I mean,
I don't know if there's a
it's
syndicate one.
great. It's honestly, it's great. Especially the fact that they're developing their AI software in any case.
Mm, definitely.
I think that's a really good thing. It's a very good thing. What more changes that we had that stood out? We definitely have Uprising being nerfed quite a
Yeah.
bit. Some people don't agree with that at all. What's your opinion, Lionhart?
I think it's a huge nerf. I think losing that one charge has a massive impact on your ability to control around. I mean, ideally, like the swarm lists we saw at the end of last season didn't want to use any charges at all and wanted to absolutely power you through with the short round three. We saw a lot of it in the partner tournament, for instance. I watched you in a mirror against Lord Busher, or just Busher. I could do a slammer and call him Lord Bushwook, as he's been desperately trying to rebrand for months, bless him. Yeah, so I saw the mirror you guys had and the swarmy nature, the design for the round three. Losing a single charge on that's pretty huge.
There's already a bug on my screen, as you can see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We've
quite a
got a
few
lot of
bugs.
bugs today.
Yes, very buggy.
But yeah, I think Uprising was incredibly strong. It got away with how strong it was and didn't get as many complaints because of how much Hidden Cash dominated the meta. But I'm not surprised at this, and I prefer this to just a provision change because I think that was a bit. It just wouldn't have done enough. I'm interested to see how much Uprising still gets play with it. It will be interesting to see how some of the better deck builders still make this work and how powerful it still is in the face of the other changes.
Yeah, it's a. I can also see the reason for changing the amount of charges. It's not that big a buff, but a nerf. Sorry, but for me at least, I know I only play this deck so I can save Visagata of Corvo, and yeah, now I can only give Corvo 3 charges. Only 3. That means he still has about 6 points, meaning most of my opponents can still take him out quite easily. They can steal him with Philippa, they can poison him with Scaligor, they can simply steal him with Enslave. I can't protect Corvo now.
True. Yeah.
So this changes things. Now, why not just play Pincer Maneuver? It's only 2 provision costs less, and I get to play an extra card of my choice.
Well, that's the interesting thing. What are we going to see more people trying Pincer again, or are we going to see more of a we're going to stick with Uprising and people are going to go more down the sort of half Swarm, half Draug route, which I hope not, but I can see that because it's not mid-rangey, but it's not entirely reliant on the leader as a result. So I think we'll probably see more of that this season now. Draug annoys me because I love the mechanic and I love the idea of it, but I played so much of it when it was the only viable option for Northern Realms for so long that I'm now fed up of Draug.
I think most are. Oh, this is a very frustrating little bug that doesn't want to go away.
Yeah, I think you'll have to reset and come completely out, I think.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll do that at some point. But
one interesting change as well that I hadn't considered, the Ceres nerf.
Oh, yes.
Now, Ceres got quietly had a provision added to her. So she's now 11 provisions, which on the face of it looks like a nerf. But while I was streaming earlier, chat actually pointed out that, is it though? because it now adds consistency through to your Lippy deck, because now you have an 11 when everything else was 10. I would actually consider it a buff. I think making it cost one more provision because of the thinning for matter is actually great. I actually think that it makes Lippy more playable, and you just lose one of your lower end provisions on a 5 that you were not really reaching for anyway in a Lippy deck because you just wanted it to discard. And I hadn't considered it until chat said the same thing to me, and they actually were saying, well, could you not argue it's a buff? Oh, I'm frozen, apparently. Hang on.
That's very interesting.
See if that fixes it.
Your frozen face looks a lot better than mine do, let's be honest.
I think I have seen some of your frozen faces. I look like I'm sort of blowing bubbles. Is it still frozen? Because I'll just rejoin the call if that's the case.
Give me 2 seconds. Let's see if this does anything.
At least I'm not out of focus, eh?
Fun times, guys. Fun times.
Welcome to Technical Support, the podcast.
Welcome to...
I am frozen. I'm never going to live that down, am I? I'm never going to live that down. It was bad enough when I just sang, but the dress issue was also a little problematic. It's okay, I'll let it go.
Oh, can you not? Oh, man. Okay, perhaps we quickly rejoin the call.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, it seems Skype is now freezing.
Wow.
That's so fun. Okay, don't worry, friends. Lionhart will be right back. Let's see. There he is.
Typical oof.
Okay, I've got you back on Skype. Let's see if we can get you on your part. There we go.
Okay, let's hope. Am I
back?
back?
There we go. You are back. I think somehow Gwent did that. I don't know how, but I had to go in and out.
I mean, let's be honest. If you're going to have day one bugs, it's got to be a Gwent show, right? Because it wouldn't be Gwent without a few day one bugs.
I agree. Yeah, I did give a rather harsh Twitter response. Some people were referring to. It's someone in the in Burza's Twitter page. It's like, yeah, you guys need to make up for this. We all want free cakes now because of your recklessness. I just said the whole game is free. Stop complaining. I mean, we can always criticize, but stop asking for free things. This whole game is free.
I know.
You don't get to complain when you're not paying. That's just one of the rules. It's unspoken, but it's a rule.
It's frustrating. I mean, Weevil's just have they all been hotfixed? Not everything has been hotfixed. The biggest one, which was the assimilate issue, has been hotfixed immediately. And look, I get it. It's a frustrating thing because we all love Gwent. We're all passionate about Gwent. We all want it to work. It's a free game. We've come to almost accept that day one for the first 6 hours is probably going to be problematic, and we do want that to change. No one's saying that we don't want them to improve the quality control, but equally they do fix these bugs very quickly. Nobody even remembers how bad Journey Day 1 was now, but it was horrendous. This bug was in there for 5 hours today, the assimilate bug. There are still other bugs they're working through, but I would be stunned if by tomorrow it isn't all fixed. So
assimilate
yes, they
is
need
already
to improve
fixed.
it. Yeah, exactly. So
they are hard at work. Yeah, it is definitely an interesting question. A lot of people are asking is why do we still have, aren't these things being tested? Because some of the bugs are so in your face. But again, they are working very hard on it. We will never know what's going on behind the scenes, but we do know they're always pressed for time. At least when Slammer was on the podcast a while back, he told us it's always a rush. It's always, they're working constantly. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, and on a lot more than we know as well. There's always more. We always get these little surprises when they announce something that we didn't think they were working on. No one had a clue about the Journey. The Journey came completely out of the blue, and it's a great addition to Gwent. And they're very good at doing that. And it's nice that they're working on these things. It's nice that they're adding new things in for the longevity of the game. It's difficult to implement things like a PTR unless you agree to change the 3 monthly cycles of content. And a game like Gwent simply cannot do that because it just would not see play. So it's very difficult. You either have to ask a group of people, let's say you use the Gwent partners. Well, that means the last week of the season, Gwent partners aren't going to compete in the current season. Well, no competitive player is going to agree to that. Streamers probably wouldn't either. So like you or I couldn't even do that because we couldn't stream the PTR. So their
No.
internal team needs to test it all. I was worried on the dev stream yesterday when they mentioned that when they made these changes, no one checked with the sound lady. And then the sound lady said, "You broke all the sound in the game." When I heard that, my first thought was, if it broke the sound, that's a visible problem. There are going to be other things that don't work here because that's just how it works. It never just breaks one thing. So I was a little worried, to be honest. But the other thing we're not giving credit for, probably because they usually have these problems, is how much harder it is to implement changes when everybody is working remotely. So I think in theory, it would be better if they were all working together. I know history doesn't necessarily agree with me there. Perhaps I'm just being overly optimistic. But yeah, I think they're probably more frustrated than we are with these changes.
I agree. I agree. And we definitely should remember it's a massive team. And that's why I so dislike people going on to someone like Berza's page and taking him out on it. Leave the guy alone. He didn't do this to you personally. Stop asking for free things.
I know.
We should be so grateful. Again, I always refer to my mom who managed to climb to rank 5 within a month with my deck. But I didn't spend a cent on that deck. She played, she got enough points to craft her own deck, and we haven't spent a cent on her account. She already has 2 top tier 1 decks, and she's still rank 5, so you go Beastie Mom.
Yeah, she's smashing it.
She will always be the example I'd use. So if someone is complaining that they aren't getting enough free stuff, maybe you should be spending some money, and then you get to complain. But yes, I think it's going quite well. One of the things they did change was being able to buy packs of already crafted decks for $20.
Yes.
And not $20 per pack, $20 for all of the packs.
That was what I was going to ask.
People didn't understand, and I agree, $20 for a pack is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. Let's see if that's already implemented.
That's actually, if you just look at the cards that you get there. Now, these decks, as they said, they're not designed by any means to be tier 1. That's part of the faction challenge that's going to be coming, in theory, tomorrow. Unless they delay it so that they can fix some of the bugs. But to have all of those for $20, if you consider how much money you'd have to spend to even have a chance at getting that volume of cards from kegs, that's just free money. That in Gwent terms, if you're going to invest any physical money in Gwent as a new player, that's probably the way to go, honestly.
And CP money, yes. If you spend money, you're more than allowed to complain. That's just how it works. See, here you go. It's all together. It would be... Okay, wait, let's see.
I don't think it's in the shop yet. I think it comes in on the 6th, unless I'm wrong.
Let's see, they did advertise it. Oh, there we go. Starter pack.
Oh no, they're the original starter decks that they started to sell. There's a new set of the 5. It's $20 for all, which is really good. Thronebreaker is currently greyed out in the shop. It's one of the bugs that has been reported that I've seen in the partner Discord. So it says it's just gone. But yes, it's one of the numerous bugs. I think if you try to buy a keg as well, it shows you a card tooltip instead of pay. One of the many little things we found, including that your leaders are millable for scraps right now. But please don't go and do that, because if you do it once, you could be testing it. If you do it to all of your leaders, that's definitely exploiting it and expect some sort of repercussion.
How do I do that?
So if you go into Deck Builder, don't actually do it, we'll just show people. So create a new deck and go to Uprising. Just create a new Uprising deck. Don't put a single card in it.
I won't. Let's show you how to not do it, guys. There we go.
And then, and then just right click on Uprising.
All right.
And you can mill it. Okay, Uprising's actually grayed out for you. So Uprising is a terrible example. So it doesn't work.
Whoa, that's not good.
But yeah, so it's obviously a bug right now. It's not going to work.
So we're afraid people are going to take advantage of it and then cry about it and ask for more free things.
Indeed, yeah. That's the kind of thing that if you're going to abuse something like that, expect to get banned. So please don't do that. It's the kind of thing where it's going to be very visible if you've done it, so don't be that silly. I would expect that to be patched within an hour or two, to be honest, and anybody who is trying to exploit those things, will get in a little bit of trouble. So please don't be that person. Um, but
And
yeah,
quickly going on to the one other change I found interesting, the fact that they made Imposter a tiny bit cheaper because it wasn't doing as well as they expected it would. That's really interesting,
yeah.
right? That's some
I remember our
incentive.
initial thoughts on it, and we thought it was going to be really good. The first lead we looked at when Jason showed us them before they were public, and we went, "Oh my God, Imposter's horrible. That's going to be so good." And it turns out not so much.
Thing is, you actually need to be very skilled to pull Imposter off, in my opinion. You can't just make a net deck and hope for the best. You need to know every single faction in and out in order to abuse Imposter, at least in my
Yeah,
opinion. It's
I just
not that easy to pull off.
no, I just don't think it has enough power. It's less provisioned than Enslave, and it's less efficient as well, if that makes sense. It just didn't work as well as it was hoped to work.
Mm-mm.
It'd be interesting to see if it sees any play. I don't know if one provision is going to make a difference. I feel the same way about my Hack and Forge, if I'm honest.
Oh, they did
Um,
change that, didn't they? Let's go on that real quick.
yeah, I don't see how one provision makes that playable
No,
at
not
all, if
really.
I'm honest. Um, and that's a valid point that Andy plays games. Imposter is meta dependent, very true. In an exclusively engine meta, Imposter could be quite good. Um, I was of the opinion that if Northern Realms became good, Imposter would be good, although Northern Realms has become good Swarm rather than good Engine. So yeah, I know what you mean. It would be interesting for sure.
It's interesting. Yeah, they at least they were taking it slow, except for cash. I think that was very necessary, especially when we look back at the Gwent Partner tournaments. Not a single game I played was I allowed to play cash. It was banned every single game. We actually talked about this beforehand. Lionhart also competed, where we included lockdown into our decks, so it can be a deterrent, and they'd have to allow us to play cash. Not with me. Not a single time did anyone allow me to play cash. It's just too
Ah,
strong. It's an
it
automatic
happened to me
win.
twice, you see. Happened for me twice. People, when they saw the spicier lockdown list that included Gahir, a couple of players that I've played against went, no, thank you, not touching that.
Oh man. Yeah,
Oh,
Kair is
honestly.
also a good deterrent, let's be honest.
I love Cahir, not gonna lie. Super Cahir, nice and spicy. He was problematic this morning when he was being summoned from the deck by royal decree and was invisible, therefore couldn't be interacted with. That was a fun bug this morning that I saw in a clip.
Oh dear.
We did have invisible cards this morning as well, which was exciting.
Oh, I actually witnessed the game where well, it was Beastie Mom playing though, so her reaction was quite fun to see. But after the guy finished playing his card, a random card fell from the sky and crumpled up on the board, and she was screaming because she didn't know what to do. But it's very interesting. I don't know how these bugs exist, but they do, and it's
Yeah.
very interesting. And my favorite one is the Mata one, where you play Mata, your opponent draws his worst card, but your card doesn't come out. That is a problem. I hope they
Yeah.
fix that really quickly.
I've seen that the other way around as well, where you play matter, your card draws, and if you pass quickly enough, your opponent's card doesn't draw. That happened to someone in chat today. So as a result, they ended up two cards down going into the last round because of a matter failure, which was interesting. Again, I think it's the priority order of actions has changed. Um,
Mm.
undeliberately. So as a result, when those things are supposed to happen, like if I play Portal, for instance, the cards don't instantly turn up, and if I pass before they eventually show up, they never show up. Um, I think
Mm.
all of those things. I'd imagine there's going to be some people working into the night this evening to fix these issues for tomorrow. I just get that feeling.
Definitely. I just know I won't be touching Gwent until tomorrow afternoon-ish. I
Oh.
don't want any games forfeited right now. Um,
No,
what are the other changes? Let's see. We have Louisa. Oh yes, hordes obviously changing from. Uh, the card now needs two less coins for a horde to trigger instead of three. I think that's very good. And
yeah,
you now gain 2 coins instead of 3 coins. That's also good in my opinion. So you can't just trigger your Flying Redanian like that. It's going to be very interesting trying to craft a deck that's now
yeah.
playable. Um,
I think Cash is still going to be better than people think. It's just not going to be played very often because it's not as good as it was when it was so abusable. Good players are still going to be fine with it, I think, and new players would probably still start with it, if I'm honest. But it makes cards like Saul less aggressive because even if you start with your leader and you went first, so you've got the stratagem that gives you 4 coins, he's still only going up to 6 now, which is better, I think. It's because he's more removable. I'm surprised he wasn't one of the cards that got a little nerf by being Elderbared. I'm surprised he didn't get row-locked to melee, if I'm honest, Saul. But I could be wrong. I
That's
expected him to get
interesting.
row-locked.
I think they want to take it slow and not just nerf the whole deck. Maybe just because they basically did that. So we already
True.
have Louisa now being almost unplayable if you play that in pro rank. In my opinion, at least, I think nobody will run a deck that can't take Louisa out. You will always keep your locks for last if you're playing against Syndicate. And
True.
in my opinion, at least, I mean, you don't want that 11 points. It's just
Mm.
you'll find a way around Louisa, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I think a lot of decks are going to have to consider teching against the Syndicate leader, the defender, because now people will probably save Azar for that, if that makes sense.
I was
So I
thinking
think
that.
it would, yeah, I think it's more likely that you're going to need to be able to. I mean, everyone already wanted to be able to answer Azar, but I think it's more important now that you've got that many point swing, that the availability is very different, I think.
The problem with Azar is we now. My opinion is that Artifact is that's still a problem, as well as Bomb Heaver. So
Mm,
not a single defender is safe. Almost everyone runs a Purify. Almost everyone runs
yeah,
something that counters a defender, and especially
of
with
course.
syndicates, you will have at least Evil that can take out Azar. In every other deck, you have something that can take out Azar. Unless you're playing something like Monsters that is doing its own thing, I think
Yeah,
even a last play Azar won't be enough, in my opinion. I mean, I'll just save my Earvolt for last. Quickly take it out. Or
yeah.
Falliver, anything like that, really.
Falibor against it's quite brutal. I mean, I think my only thing that I say to that is I think that's a good thing that I like things that make me play the game differently. If I wanted to play solitaire, I'd play solitaire. When I see my opponent, I want to have to think to myself, how do I have to play this to win? Not cool. I can throw my cards on the board and win. Which we've had metas, we've had whole months where it felt like that, and I don't want that again. So I quite like that I have to think more. But yeah, I know. Yeah, it is going to be problematic, and I think the Azar is going to be answered very quickly, very regularly.
Agree. I agree. I think they did a good thing. I think this will be very interesting to see how it turns out. It was very necessary, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's see what's next. Is Spectator mode coming soon? They still are talking about that. But not for
Yeah.
everyone. That is needed.
Yes.
As it will take up to all of our resources, quote unquote, and they aren't ready yet.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
I think the spectator mode will only be used in tournaments, and I think it will be something that they only allow certain people at certain times with certain access. So, for example, let's say you and I are casting a tournament, and CDPR is aware of this. They would give us access to the client to use on a short-term period, so that we could cast and commentate.
Yes.
But to the average person, it's not going to be available to prevent stream sniping or that kind of thing, because I don't think they're in a position where they can put the investment in to allow it to be wide scale right now. I think they've got a lot of other things in the works that they want to do, and I honestly don't think it's priority. The tournament clients are really a real must. I think we're going to see that soon. I know we've heard soon a lot from CDPR, but I think we're going to see it soon. Just because of the state of the world, it becomes more important for them to be able to host proper tournaments, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And
So I think it will
yeah,
really be pushed.
they're already working on that. Like we found out when we asked Slammer also, because of the fact that we can't play challenger events now, because of the lockdown, which we need to assume is going to last at least until 2021. Worst case scenario, more than that. But point is, they are definitely going to keep the competitive scene up and running, meaning they're going to have to find a way to do that from our homes, and therefore they need to be working on spectator mode in any case. So I think coming soon means coming soon, not next month, soon enough. Yeah, it will be interesting. I respect the fact that they're working on that though, and they are also working on the arena mode now. helping you earn more crown points. Is that how I understood it?
So they changed it midway through last season. Arena has been long unloved, and obviously they've said that there's going to be a big change to the whole structure of Arena. But they initially excluded Arena completely from the journey. So playing Arena felt even worse because you didn't get any benefit towards the journey. Halfway through the season, they fixed that after some response online from some Arena players. And they did that really quickly, which was really good. They've now added the VFX so that it also shows you that it's updating. But now playing Arena works for the journey, which is pretty nice.
It is pretty nice. I like it quite a lot. Yeah, is there anything you can or want to discuss with what you think will happen in the near future? N- Asking for interest's sake, yeah. Before we
I
switch.
I'm excited for still what's to come in Gwent. I know they're going to be as frustrated as we are, if not more frustrated with the bugs. Do I honestly think they're going to eradicate day one bugs anytime soon? No. I hope they do, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. But I know that will be their aim. I don't question that. I know there's so much more content, both like in Gwent than there ever has been, and as frustrating as the last meta was, because it was very arbitrary, it was very repetitive. I still enjoyed Gwent more than I have done in a very long time because it felt like there was more than just, do I grind ladder? And that, so it feels like there was more to that. What's going to happen going forward excites me, but what we know and also what I think. I've got some ideas. I've got like a wish list of what I want to see in the next 12 months, which I think I'm going to turn into an article of some sort, so we can discuss at some point. But yeah, I'm overall excited about what's to come.
I think we all are. I think we all are. I think they are planning a lot of things. I don't think Gwent will go stale anytime soon. I think Journey is very responsible for
Journey.
that too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to think that there are some projects in the work. I see a lot of people in the comments want Siri to be a thing in the next Journey. That
Oh yeah.
that would be cool. That would be really cool. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people think that's gonna happen. Um,
Mm.
and then, what do you think about the new token-like cards to come in the next expansion? Thesavian is asking.
I heard that they briefly mentioned that, right? I assumed that was we're putting in new stratagems to sort of deal with the power creep issues.
Hmm.
We've both said for a while we don't want things to keep getting nerfed. We want things to get buffed, so more things are playable, right?
Yes.
That's a great idea. I love that. I've always loved that. The only problem is eventually, as you power creep more things, eventually you get the problem where all of a sudden blue coin is a real problem again, or going first rather is a real problem again. And we're in that position now. Also, for some reason, your screen has completely died, so I don't know if you can still see me.
I
Um,
can.
Excellent. Okay, I just can't see you guys. But as a result, they need to sort of deal with stratagems again. And just giving the current ones a little bit of a power creep is an answer. But I think new stratagems would also help. So yeah, I think that's probably what they're talking about. I have no idea what they are, but I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I also see half of the comments do not want Suri, they want Yen to be in the next journey. So that's also a
Yeah.
very interesting idea. It would be. We
Hmm.
should actually create a poll and
That would be good, actually. Yeah, that
maybe
would be good.
give up prizes to see who guesses it right. I would be very keen to see, but it's still a while. I think it's still some time, about a few weeks, 50 days. There we go, 50 days. Yeah, that's about a month and a half from now. Enough
Yes,
time to
yes.
climb, guys. If you don't have Journey, I definitely suggest you get it. The extras you get are pretty cool.
Hmm.
I
Hugely.
I'm almost at the one I was going for, which is this little teddy. Uh, great fun, great fun. They actually pretended like these were April Fool pranks when they mentioned it on
That was actually very clever.
this picture, for example. We thought it was an April Fool's prank.
Chad Geralt loving it. Uh, my
Oh,
life will not be complete until I manage to get the pan. I'm sorry. I need that pan.
the pan.
Found me pan. Top tier. Yeah,
Uh,
97, I think it is. Need the pan for Geralt. Uh,
97. Let's look how
yeah, I think
how
it's
that pan will.
yeah,
Oh, there we go.
it's definitely. I love. I can't believe I got that right. But yeah, I think the quality of the cosmetics and things they put in, it's not only enjoyable for us, but it's also good for the long term of Gwent. That this stuff exists. It's going to keep a lot of the more casual players and hopefully continue to build on all of the people that have joined us from iOS and more recently Android.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, I think the Android sales are going well as expected. You probably have more statistics on that than I do.
They haven't given too much yet. The reason I would have more, just so everyone knows, I'm a shareholder for CDPR, not a huge one by any means, because those shares are expensive. But yeah, so I have a few shares, so I go through all the like the financial information that's published and listen to calls and stuff like that. I can't wait to see the information on how well Android has done, but it certainly feels like it's doing very well from what we're seeing, just as like a Gwent player's perspective. The number of people coming into streams for all streamers across Gwent, it feels like everyone's numbers have sort of increased for dev streams, for even just on Reddit, the number of people reading and reacting to these things. Feels like it's on the up, and that's quite exciting. I don't remember the last stream that like you or I did where we didn't have somebody new coming and going, oh, I'm quite new to Gwent, I've been playing for a month. That wasn't happening before the mobile launches, so
No.
I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I very much get the opposite. It's very fun to see people freaking out, saying, "How is this not like the Gwent game in The Witcher 3? It it needed no fixing." It's
I
like,
love those people.
were
They're
you
great.
sleeping for 3 years? What's happening?
1 star would not recommend. Where are my spies, Ree?
My
Oh,
third row. Why is weather not a thing? And why can you put a card in any row? I don't understand what's going on. Like,
oh
if you
yeah.
didn't know this was a thing, you didn't know that Gwent was a game on its own by now, then. Because most people that, when I read the reviews for interest's sake on Android's release, a lot of them were 1 star reviews, and people were angry because they thought they just made this game now out of the blue for Android, which isn't the
Yeah.
case. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big oof. I agree.
Yes, definitely some oofs. Which, for those of you that missed it, is the name of the show. Out of Focus or Oof,
Yeah, let's put that title on again.
which was Reveal 1.
Flip.
There's a couple more to go, though.
Couple more to go. I think we're almost at the next one.
I
And
think you're probably right.
I think so too. Shall we do that one now? Or
Yeah,
if
do
there's
you want to preface it
anything
with, do you want to give the story leading up, I suppose?
I could, Uh, should I? I'll go with the first half. How's that?
Okay.
So I popped onto Lionheart's stream about 2 days ago. Was it 8 day? It was 2 days ago, and it seemed that our team we were both on, Team Rankstar, just decided they couldn't continue being a team anymore. The leader, Philion, he actually at some point he was paying each and every one of us for content we produced, and that wasn't happening on any team. And that had to stop at some point because we lost the sponsorship. And slowly but surely, people have been leaving Team Rankstar, and that just reached its climax about 2 days ago when I heard on the stream that Team Rankstar has now died, and we were teamless,
Yeah.
but for a mere few hours.
Yes, it didn't last long, ladies and gentlemen.
Would you like to continue, Lionheart?
Yeah, so initially we weren't, obviously it was quite a surprise. No one really knew it was happening. We were all a little bit shocked. I certainly was. I know the content captains for
Yeah,
TRS didn't know. Yes, Tia's still showing as TRS on Twitch. We will fix that very shortly. Um,
for a reason.
yes, you are currently still TRS, but it doesn't exist. And yeah, at the end of that stream, we were approached to join another team. And we made the decision, separately and together, I suppose, that it was a good idea. We are very flattered and very excited to announce that we are now part of the team that is about to flash up on the screen right now, I think.
And this is the announcement we were talking about. We are extremely, extremely excited, as this has always been one of the biggest teams in Gwent, if not the biggest. But let's not start drama anytime soon. It's a bit too
Yes.
quick for that. It was so ironic. The moment we heard about the news, I messaged Lionheart and I said, listen, we need to start researching some teams if we want to join. Team Aretusa was one of the top teams on our list. And
Very
within
much so, yeah.
about 2 hours of the news coming that TRS wasn't a thing, we got approached by DeMarcus asking us if we wanted to be on the team. And this is so cool. Yes, it is. Thanks for all the awesomes in the chat. Because they're
Yeah,
one
I
of the
appreciate
most
it.
conservative teams when it comes to recruiting. And I honestly couldn't believe that they would approach us. And they did.
Yeah.
And we have 2 other people on the team who also are from Team Rank. So, but I won't announce that, as I think they get to do that on their own
Yes,
terms.
let's let them do everything they want to do. So yeah, this is official. We are now officially Team Aretusa. They will have an official announcement for us joining shortly, but we did check. They are very comfortable with us announcing it this way. We're very excited to be joining them. The resources that they have are pretty exciting.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So this was the surprise we were teasing you all with. I'm seeing lots of people both excited and irritated with us for teasing them about something else. But you're getting no reveal on that situation anytime soon.
Indeed.
Right. There is one more surprise left to go, though, chat.
True.
But we've told you what
true.
it is, so you
It's
should know.
It's our new guest coming on, which we will talk about very soon, actually. Yes, no, Team Aretusa definitely have their ducks in a row. We're already on. We are on the team. It's official. Someone asked. We are part of Aretusa. They, again, like I said, they are a very conservative team, and they will do things as they would normally do it. They have a lot of things to do admin-wise before we get added to the page, etc., etc. But we are currently part of the team, and it's very fun interacting with them. We've got some nice resources. I have no reason to do badly now in ranked, if I can put it like that.
Yeah, the pressure's on a little bit, actually. I agree. The pressure's on a little bit because now, looking at the people we're playing with who are around, I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to show my MMRs anymore, so I might actually have to try. Yeah, same team as Crozier. That fills me with happiness. Big fan of the Potato Ambassador.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shinmiri, DeMarcus, Colimon, all there.
Huge players.
It's amazing.
Huge players.
Now, honestly, for me, the best part is just the contacts. It's now being able to directly talk with these people and actually discuss Gwent offline.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. It's really cool. I'm very, very excited for this.
Yeah.
And it's cool that we both were asked. That's really awesome.
That was also quite nice. We were quite happy with that. I'm not gonna lie. And it's just nice. It's nice to be part of something. Having been part of a team before, there was a consideration of whether we stayed teamless, depending on what our decisions were. But
there were a lot of options. Like
yes, that's very true.
Team Bandit Gang has always been there. We
Big fan
have
of the Bandit Gang guys.
A lot of friends in Bandit Gang. That was also always here at the back of the mind. We also wanted to stay teamless for a while, but this is something you don't just turn down every day. We'll stay friends.
Difficult.
We'll stay friends with everyone. Do a lot of co-ops. Don't fret. Don't fret. Yeah, give Bandit Gang a bit of love.
Big fan of the content they're producing and everything they're doing. It was just difficult. It's not the kind of thing you turn down. So yeah, we're very pleased with the situation we're in there. We're excited to start working with them and making content, streaming under that banner. Very happy.
Someone really wants to know what the benefits are of joining a pro team. Well, I can give you some. Some of that would be just having the contacts. Also, we're discussing decks. You are in a team, so you actually get to discuss your opinions on certain strategies with top tier players. You're not a lone wolf anymore. You can rely on others and ask them their opinions. You work together on creating optimal decks. Aretusa, for example, releases a meta snapshot every month. You have direct contact with some of the best strategists in the game, if I can put it like that. That and being in a team is great fun. Again, we get to wear our Aretusa shirts if we even make it to a competition.
Yes, come on.
Definitely. Let's say the discussions that go on in a team aren't the discussions that you make public all the time. It's more behind the scenes.
It's nice to be able to practice behind the scenes. It's nice to be able to do other things, have contacts with other people who have different thoughts on Gwent. So if you want to be like a content creator and write articles or publish videos, it's nice to have that platform with you because they're very well respected, they're very well known, and it adds resource and weight to what you're doing, I guess. And we're very excited to have been welcomed in. So yes. We're very happy on that front, I think.
Very happy, very happy. Okay, so officially Team Aretusa, guys. There you go. Shall we now go to our guests for next week? This week, actually, I believe.
This week, so the next episode, I don't know if you've already said this or not, is going to be quite soon. It's going to be this coming Saturday. I believe, did we agree at 6 o'clock CEST?
CET and CST are the same right now, I think.
Yeah, so 6 o'clock CET, there's going to be the next episode. It's going to be our first one with a guest. Now, as we've said a few times, this isn't an exclusively Gwent show. Yes, there will be shows that we use for Gwent content, whether that's Gwent guests or whether it's reviewing patch notes, that kind of thing. So we're going to have plenty of Gwent, but there are going to be lots of episodes that aren't Gwent related, and the next one is one of those. We want to talk to developers of games and sort of and branch out a little bit into other things as well. Would you like to announce?
I could.
And we can go into detail on who the individual is.
All right. So the first person that is going to appear on our show is no one other than Baumi. Baumi is the person. He is a massive Twitch streamer, but he is more known now for the game he has developed, and that is currently in its beta stage, I believe.
It is, it is indeed. Baumi, for those of you that aren't in the Dota 2 world, the name might not mean a lot to you. In the Dota 2 world, the guy is huge. He has over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, but he has more recently been creating card games. And his second one right now, his first one was fully funded and exists. The second one is currently in Kickstarter. I actually invested in it, and bizarrely, we found him by accident, I suppose. Someone in who's part of the community actually whispered me and said, "Hey, have you heard of this card game? I watched this guy on YouTube for other content, and I've heard he's making this. Check it out." Well, okay, had a look, and actually quite enjoyed it. So we thought it would be nice to communicate with someone who is in the same kind of universe as us, but not the same game, if that makes sense. So we're excited to announce that's happening this Saturday.
Yes, and I actually have his intro video on screen. You can check in the chat. I have given you a link to that video where you can download the demo, play it. You can help him with his Kickstarter. Basically what makes this game unique, but again, we won't be talking about this too long now as he's our guest next episode.
Of course.
But the whole point is he wants to make a card game where you never do not have all the cards. You start, you have every single card, nothing stops you from creating the deck of your dreams. Whereas, I don't know if you'd be paying for this game or not in the long run, but I have the intro here, which I am now going to play. We'll take up the entire screen. It's about 2 minutes long, but check it out. This is Baumi's game called Chroma, and I will link that in the chat again. Are you ready for that, Lionhart?
I am ready when you are.
All right, here you go.
Why would our mother abandon us? Maybe she's tired, or she's angry,
I'm still visible.
or she's got something better to do.
I'm commenting. Oh,
Maybe she's dead.
Why is this lady? She just.
Frankly, I don't care. The question is not why did she leave? The question is, what do we do next? Do we gather and protect each other from our fraying reality? Do we weave the world's chaos into great, beautiful things? Do we chase peace and harmony with the magics left in her wake? Or do we finally fulfill the promise and the destiny of humanity? Master reality, learn divinity, ascend! Come with me.
Chroma.
Yeah.
Dun.
Hey, mate.
I
We won't go
like
through
to
it
join
in
us?
complete detail
Fire's
now,
just
but the
right.
intro video is very nice. The artwork looks pretty good. It looks... Oh, I'm gone again. Double bow me. Ooh.
There you are.
Hey. So yeah, we're excited to talk to him about that. Obviously not going to go into too much detail about the game itself now, but it is available, as Tia said. There is a YouTube link for that video if you would like to go and rewatch it, and also a link to where you can download the demo for free. It's available right now on Steam, I believe. Definitely worth looking at, and see what you think. As I say, the card game world can be quite varied sometimes, and there's a lot of crossover. It's certainly worth having a look at, and we will be discussing it with the guy who built the game.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and that's also what this talk show is all about, in my opinion. The more we expand our horizons, the more people we will inevitably bring back to Gwent, as not everyone knows about Gwent, believe it or not. So
True.
yeah, it will be interesting seeing how the Dota community reacts to a card game, but they're very supportive, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Let's see how much they like our card game. But yeah, he's
Well, yeah.
going to be on Saturday. It's going to be great fun. We will come with a time. Do we already have confirmation on the time, Lionhart? Or are we?
Do. I will just confirm it's either 6 or 7. I'm just making sure whose time it is. 6 o'clock CET. So this Saturday at 6 o'clock in the evening CET time, we will be interviewing Bauming on this channel.
Great fun. And that actually brings us almost to the end. I believe you wanted to plug a little song.
I do have, yes. So I've Driftbling, for those of you that know him in the Gwent community, has been making a Lionheart based song effectively for me, which is really cool. Now it's not going to play my side. I've got the finished version. I'm really excited about it, and I'm going to be using it on my next stream. I was going to give you a quick sneak peek of it, but
I have the song.
have you got it? Can you get it to play from a minute 35 for me?
No.
Oh.
It can.
Okay.
I can only play on OBS. I can only click a button and the song will start from the beginning.
Well, boo. In that case, chat, next time on Dragon Ball Z, next time I stream, I'm going to do the full reveal of the song that Driftbling has done. It's amazing. I'm really, really excited about it. Yeah. So you will get to hear that as well, which is really cool. I'm really pleased with what he's done and genuinely really grateful because it's awesome. So yeah, definitely tune in to check that out next time.
We are not engaged. Stop.
Yeah. Yes, I know all of you would like an engagement announcement or a wedding date. We're not going to give you this information. She is ringless, guys. No rings. I may have stood for Tia, but right now I can't kneel, unfortunately, because my leg won't let me. So you're going to have
Women
to wait.
empowerment. Yeah, but
true, right?
his knee did miraculously snap into place yesterday.
It was wonderful.
I heard
It
a
was
click.
wonderful.
We were streaming Minecraft, which happens every now and then on a blue moon.
Yeah.
I heard a snap. Lionheart was in an utter pain, and then all of a sudden he stood up and did a few squats.
Yeah. It was very unusual. For those of you that are confused about what's happening, I've just had knee surgery. Didn't go very well. So there's a lot of damage in my leg. But for the last 4 years, I haven't been able to use my leg very well. Last night, for about an hour, for the first time in over 4 years, I had zero resistance in that joint. Oh my lord, it felt incredible. I even did a walk-on reveal here. So while it is by no means fixed, finally we are going in the right direction.
Definitely. Well, and so is his knee.
Yes. Yeah, trust me, it's gone in the wrong direction before. That's not fun.
Oh, a lot of knee talk.
Yes.
So, okay, so we are not going to be playing the song. Lionheart will do that in his spare time. As for that, guys, remember, as this podcast is on my channel for now, please look at Lionheart's channel. He is the co-host. We are both co-hosts. And if you don't follow him already, which I don't believe is a possibility at this point, please do. We might reach a stage where we switch on whose channel this is being done, so you need to follow just for in case. Oh, and the name of this podcast, guys, Out of Focus. We have a Twitter, so
yes,
I
go and
just
follow it.
put that in. Yeah, you do that now, please. We will keep you up to date there. We only have 2 followers, me and Lionhart. I couldn't promote it beforehand. But yeah, there you go.
Let's see how many people can join and follow us. How quickly will Oof outgrow the 2 of us individually? That's what I want to see.
Ho. Sounds like a challenge.
It does. Come on. Prove me wrong, chat. You can do this.
Totally. But this has been great fun and very successful. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, this is going to be very fun. Thank you all for watching. I believe this will be the end of the first launch, which went very well. Thank you, Balbong. Thank you for that sub. And Out of Focus will end now. We will likely raid someone in the Gwent community.
Yeah. We can work out who's live and who we're going to raid. We'll go from there.
And we'll show you the Oof intro once again for everyone who missed it, as it will also be an outro. Yes, it is a bit dark and scary, but let's be honest, so is this thing that's happening.
Yes, so are we, so it's fine.
Wholesome on the inside, very Oof on the outside. Yes.
I think that's probably fair. And also I want a wholesome check in the chat, please. For those of you who are usually here, you know what I mean. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Barney's also live.
Oh.
Yes or no?
I mean, it doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, you know what? That's a great idea. We'll raid Balmy, our future guest.
We'll raid Balmy. There you go.
Yeah.
Tell him you're from the talk show, by the way. That will help a lot.
Love that idea.
I too love that idea. We're going to send you over to Balmy, guys. He's currently playing Dota. He's the guest that will be on the Saturday, showing some love so that he's not too scared, as he is the first guest. And thanks once again. This was really cool. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be doing this a lot more often from now on. Now I will end you off with our Oof animation.
Oh yeah.
Until next time, guys.
Bye all.